Hi, Carolina. Hello, good evening to you. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. First up, thank you very much for reaching out to be interviewed today with me on my show. I am truly honored and humbled. And when I read your profile, there's something that is a common denominator between the both of us, which is hypnotherapy. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, I have to get Dr. Carolina on because that is what I'm doing at the moment. So, for the benefit of our listeners, I'd like to read a bit of your introduction
Mm,
before we go right into our conversation. So, hey everyone, we have Dr. Carolina Fischer here with us. Carolina is a trained medical doctor that decided to train as an RTT hypnotherapist. So, for the benefit of our listeners, RTT stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy, popularized by Marissa Peer. This is because she found out personally how transformative this. She found out how she had worked her entire adult life with therapists for her own life when she found methods that work with the subconscious and transformation really started to happen in her life. So, I mean, short and sweet, but let's give it up for Dr. Carolina Fischer. Yay! So, Dr. Carolina, tell us before we go jump into business, what was it like growing up as a Carolina Fischer?
What was it growing up? I grew up in a very small village, and I loved it. I really loved the neighbor, like the neighborhood there. It was so beautiful. I mean, it is so beautiful. Still, it's in Austria, right on the border
Oh
to
my
Hungary.
God, that's one of my bucket lists.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, and not only right. I grew up there, no mountains. So it's very
Oh,
flat on the border to Hungary. So it's very unknown, right? Because usually we think skiing and mountain climbing in mountains, and It it was lovely. I just always felt it was too small for me. I wanted to live somewhere else, and ideally New York. Like once I found out about New York, I knew that's my place. And so, as soon as I could, I moved to New York actually, or as soon as I had a really amazing opportunity. And how was it growing up? It was for me, it was definitely too small, as I said, and just for me, also too little inspiration intellectually, I want to say, right? I mean,
oh,
yeah, but still, there's not so much active cultural life, yeah, I just,
you're looking for adventure.
yeah, yeah, I think looking back now, I was looking for adventure and I was looking for more, I just really more, like, I mean, all I could say at that point, right? And that was, I didn't have access to internet when I knew that already, right? And so I didn't even know what was more, but I knew it. Wanted more, right? Something else. I wanted to experience new things.
I love it because I am a person who's always after the next adventure in life as well, and I could never sit still. But right now, I am in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So I'm also, as we speak, looking out where do I go next from here. Tell us
Amazing.
your backstory. Tell us your backstory, Carolina. Like, what was the move that made you go from Vienna to New York right now? Oh, were there any other places that you lived before?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really just wanted to always get out and yeah, experience new things, really also wise and yeah. And then I went to Brazil when I was 19 for a social, you know, community project. I worked at an Ayrton Senna kindergarten there. And then I always wanted to end up in New York. There was kind of like a deep knowing,
Calling.
but I didn't know how to, right? And I was also, and I still am into acting. That's basically my second passion next. And I saw this acting conservatory in New York, and I thought, oh, that would be it. Like I wanted to study there. And then I just thought about it and about what it would um, take and how much it would cost. And I am usually very much like, I'm gonna make it. If I want it, I can make it. But there I was like, okay, maybe in my next life, right? Not maybe, I mean, it's gonna happen in my next life because this life, it's just too many things that would need to align, right? So I let it go. It's not my passion for healing and for acting, but I let that go. And then about 10 years after I let that go, I was on the Austrian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And I
Mm.
$1,000. I mean, it was 75,000 euros. And that was at that time $100,000.
My God.
Knew that was for New York, because I always fully
Wow.
want to come here just with one ticket and try to find my luck.
One way.
Yeah, I just always knew I wanted to come. I mean, one-way ticket, actually, I had a one-way ticket when I came, but I wanted to come with a purpose where I was integrated in a society, where in a community, right? Because
Mhm.
I knew I didn't want to just, yeah, I'm very courageous, I think, but I knew I needed a community. So I had that then because I auditioned for the school and I got invited to study there. And that's how I came to New York. First, actually, LA and then New York. And yeah, and I knew I would stay. And then, yeah,
Wow.
again,
Congratulations. Oh my God, there's so many milestones that you've hit along the way. When did you fly out to? When did you win and when did you decide to fly out?
I mean, thing was, I had really already planned, like I had planned to go to. So at the time, I was actually dating someone in Las Vegas, and I had planned to fly out to meet him in
Mm-hmm.
person. And I think I had
Mm-hmm.
planned February 2010, and then December 2000, I won on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like it was really so aligned, right? I mean, it was
Yes.
great. Looking back now, actually, I'm just realizing how aligned that was, right? Because that opened my door. Because then in Las Vegas, I have to say, I was very bored. I mean, it's obviously there's a lot going on. It's like so, but it's it's not. It was
A
close
lot and nothing at the same time going on. I totally get you.
to LA from there, and then I started acting classes in LA at that school that I always wanted to end up at, and totally not realizing, that it had come full circle. I wasn't aware that it was the same school that I actually always wanted to attend. And then
Oh my gosh.
in Los Angeles, I needed to go back to Austria to do the 2 year program because I needed a student visa. And then I also found out that if I wanted to finish med school, because I had 1.5 years left, I also needed to do that before 2013. So I did that before moving to New York. So I
Ah.
back graduate to finish med school in Austria. And after that, I went to New York.
My God, what an inspiring story. So you've been in New York for about 11 years. Now
Oh, now I came 2010.
you keep 2010, but then you
So
went back.
I went back. Yeah. No, I came for the school 2010. So sorry. 1 second. How did that go? Wow. Now I'm finding I'm not definitely was end of 2009 and 2010 I moved here. But I think it was like this. I think I wow, that's and no 2000, September 2010 I came to New York to stay. Like it's been 14
It's
years. I think
wow. Okay.
I think just 2010 from January till August I graduated. I finished med school. I think that was it. Yeah. Or yeah, that must have, yeah, that's think I were yeah. eh,
Awesome. I mean, I think are you living your life? Are you happy? You look happy.
Yeah, but this messes my head a little up now that I got because it doesn't fully make sense because if I want 2009, that was December 2010, but I came 2010 here, yeah. But I'm gonna think about that later because that's just boring for someone listening. But I kicked off 1 year, but I know the year I came here was 2010. And yeah, I'm really happy with
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how I'm really I I
I love it.
I mean, I knew I wanted to be in New York, right? But I didn't. I had dreams, this or that, and but I didn't have like, oh, it needs to be exactly this or exactly this. But I am happy. Yeah, I really love what I do, and yeah, I love, working for myself. I love just being.
I love that. I love that for you. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm about to follow that footstep. For our listeners, thank you for that background, Carolina. Can you share with us the beauty and the majestic power of RTT hypnotherapy? What is it?
Wow, wow. I mean, so easy to put in words and so hard to. So I can say now, like for me, I think after I've been practicing, I've opened this business 2017, so I've almost practiced for 7 years, and I can say even now, like it's still like, wow, wow, it just gets better and better.
Amazes you all every time, right? When you unlock something within the
Yeah,
person.
it's never, you can always grow and you always get new stories. So what I love, I was always, I always wanted to work with new things and create new things. And here it's really like every client you have, it's a totally unique story. Even if two clients have the same issue, right? But
Yeah.
it will come up. Even if you work with the same clients over a specific time, or even if you work like with the same client on the same topic, there's always transformation. And I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right, the name says it, rapid transformational therapy. So of course that's transformation. But I never get bored. It's just so lively, so alive, so thriving, so just really transformational. And going more into detail, right? Because a listener might think, now, yeah, what is she talking about, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like,
What is she bragging? What are they bragging about?
yeah, or what is,
What is
I'm
this so cool compared to the normal therapy?
yeah, I'm just talking about on an emotional level, right?
Mhm.
But really on a factual level, I mean, hypnotherapy, right? I mean, it is obviously a scientifically proven method, and Marissa really refined it in the sense that it's really focused on even very rapidly transforming, right? And the session is 3 hours long, right? And you really focus on an issue, and you really go to the root cause of the issue. And you don't treat the symptoms, but you really treat the root cause. And you let the younger self or inner child, depending on how far back we're going to go to find the root cause, right? And we let that younger self express themselves, right? What they really thought in that scene that comes up in that situation, right? That was the reason why there are those specific issues today. And that in
Mhm.
itself transforms everything already, right? And then we reframe it and we transform it and we really plant the seeds of everything that that person wants instead of the issue that we are transforming in the session, right? So it's very
Yes.
simple, and I hope I explain it simply now, like in a simple way now. But it's very simple and it's very, yeah, so easy. Even
Profound.
now it can be hard sometimes because sometimes we even don't think that it can be so easy, right? That it can be
That's
so
right.
light, right?
Mhm.
Done with so much ease. Like, well, I've had this for so long now. Can it be cured in one session? Or right? And it absolutely
Yes.
doesn't matter to change the belief that's wired in you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I love it. I just love it so much.
Same. Me too. And it's like and when people go into RTT, it's essentially a partnership between you and the therapist himself or herself. So it is not the job of the therapist to ensure that you are cured, but you have to participate as well because again, this also coming back to what I'm connecting back. I'm connecting to my next question is the misconceptions of hypnosis because if you were to divide the two words, hypnotherapy means hypnosis and therapy. The Carolina, can you share with our listeners, like, what are the common misconceptions of hypnosis, and why do you think hypnosis is one of the key things that we need to implement for the success of RTT?
So that's an interesting question. I really rarely get misconceptions, I have to say. I think people usually know some about hypnosis already. Some even,
From TV,
yeah, or
and it's usually a bad thing.
yeah. But I sometimes say, when I'm more apprehensive, I say, it's not like, because somebody said that to me, and I don't even like saying it, but I don't know how else to say it, because I don't want to like put voodoo down, right? Because I think,
Exactly.
that is up out there. I heard before, hypnosis, hypnotherapy is not like voodoo. And so I sometimes use that. And really, just because I can't find a better word, because some people really just feel like, oh, I'm going to put them into some kind of, you know, um,
Magic spell.
and all of a sudden that issue is transformed. And that's not at all what it is, right? Like you said, it's so empowering. It
Mm-hmm.
really,
Mm-hmm.
I used to say, I'm going to be your guide through yourself, and we are transforming what you want to transform. And the work is really done in you. Like I'm helping,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
supporting, really present. I want to say I'm definitely important for that journey, right? Because I can see from the outside, right? And I can hold the space for everything coming up. But without you, I can do nothing, right? Like you
That's true.
are doing the energetic transformational work inside of you. So it's really, I love it. It's so empowering. And there's misconceptions I really haven't found really many yet, or there was not. I've had a client once that wanted to work with me, and she wanted to quit smoking, and she was really like, can you guarantee it, right? And I said to her, I've helped people stop smoking, and I have reviews about it, right? But I cannot guarantee it, because I don't know what,
Yes.
right? I don't know what will happen in the session, because this is like, we are working with human being, right? You cannot
Mhm.
be basically, right? I mean,
Yes.
even a doctor, if I go for a regular operation, depends on what is inside of me, right? They might find something that doesn't allow
Correct.
operation, or that needs them to do something else, right? So,
Mhm.
and that was the first misconception I found. I've only had it with her, where I said, yeah, I'm also not comfortable working with you, right? Because it feels like you really want me to do
There's
that.
a pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then if it fails to meet the
yeah,
expectation, then it's
and it's
not gonna be good for the both of us. It's gonna be detrimental to my practice as a therapist, and to you. Perhaps you'd also go out and also start planting seeds outside that, hypnotherapy is not as good as they claim to be. And it's very, very important, yeah,
yeah.
for
So
people to get that right.
yeah, exactly. That was a misconception that I had. Like people, although I always, not always, but sometimes when I feel like they are new and they want to know more, I say, look, it's not hypnosis like you see in circuses or in movies, where they snap you and then they let you bark like a dog, and then they snap you back and you don't even remember what, right? It's not like
Exactly.
about oath as therapy, right?
Mhm.
We are gonna do some things that empower, right? And we want you to know, gonna know, we want you to be present, right? So,
Yeah.
but we also want you to, right? We want you to take responsibility for our side, right? So
Mhm.
that conception I had, that people really think, oh, I'm just gonna press a button in your subconscious and then you won't smoke.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how it works. You really need to give up that and transform that, right? Giving up means you're transforming into someone that doesn't smoke in that sense, right? And we need to find out, why do you smoke today, right? Because there are
Hmm.
all,
Hmm.
it's so
Yeah,
many reasons. There must be a payoff, otherwise you wouldn't still do it, right?
that's
So
right.
um, I'm so you had misconceptions, and also the second part of the question was,
Oh,
what is the word? No.
yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, misconception, that's actually what I asked earlier. And it's a lot about, no, it's not a lot. It's the meaning that you attach to why you started smoking in the first place, right? That's
Ex-
as usually the case. Once I think the key transformational point for the sessions that I've had with my friends or during my practice session is that point where they understood why I still carry out this bad habit before because of something. Well, protect. All right.
Yes.
Punish, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then
So,
from there on, it's onward. And the next hurdle, at least for me or for the client himself or herself, is the transformation.
mm,
It's the consistency, whether they don't, are they gonna pick up the same cigarette stick, or are they gonna make wiser choices?
well,
Yeah.
mm, yeah, that too. I mean, there is a transformation happening, right? That is very like you are transformed. So you won't your cigarette anymore, right? If you let that transformation really transform you.
Seep in. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But I mean, there is a transformation happening if you're open to it, right? Because, but if you want, I feel like going back to that example, I said, if you want a guarantee from me, it sounds like you don't even want to participate, right?
Precisely. It's like you're helping to be saved. No,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're wanting to be saved instead
yeah,
of saving yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was thinking, right, can be as simple as, right, I had a client who really came back to a scene where her mother, when she was in her the girl was in her teens and her mother would smoke. Every time her mother smoked, she would be more relaxed and she would ask her daughter, how was school today?
Huh.
She associated that beautiful time with her mother where her mother finally asked
So,
with, so she associated smoking, right? Which is so
mm-hmm.
understandable, right? So we always
Yes.
see it in the light. What, right? There's everything that is today is a reason, right? Always have, even if they
Mm-hmm.
so. And with her, once she saw that, and we could transform that, reframe that, it makes total sense. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't that, but
Mm-hmm.
now I'm going to transform that, right? And then in that scene, I'm going to say to my mom, right? My inner picture of my mom. You know, Mom, I cherished those moments that we had together while you were smoking and while you were so relaxed. But I know now you could have also done that without smoking. I now
Yeah.
know I do that without smoking. I don't smoke and
Yeah.
breathe because in the smoking is the breath, right? Usually we smoke or smoke, they are inhaling people, right? I mean, there's so many reasons. Of course, there's a certain addictive factor to it too. But
Mm-hmm.
she transformed out of it so easily after seeing that, right?
Mm.
Was the reason that helped her once she saw it.
I love that. Again, I'm
Uh,
mind blown by RTT. So,
to me,
preach. I
uh,
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people who's gonna sign up for RTT after this once this episode airs. So let's hope for that and spread this all over the world globally.
that
So, Carolina, how is RTT hypnotherapy different from other modalities of therapy? You mentioned before you've been doing therapy for your own, for yourself all your life. So now that
mm-hmm.
you lived all of them, what are the differences?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny because I usually would say you lived all of them. I mean, that's a big statement, but honestly, I really had a lot of different forms of therapy. And I did the classic psychoanalysis, talk therapy, family constellation. Yeah, so there was a lot. Yeah. And the difference is that it's really, working with the subconscious. That's the difference because talk therapy, right, works with your conscious. And even psychoanalysis, in my opinion, there wasn't that transformational aspect, right? And also not that subconscious, although the focus or the goal is to go to the subconscious, to lie on the couch. But I hadn't had that experience with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think like with me, it started with family constellation, where I first tapped into the subconscious, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
but in a collective way, right, with families. And that's when I was really mind blown for the first time. And I think looking back, seeing it, I feel it might have been too much for me at the time. That really years and years, and then I found this, RTT, where it's also about the subconscious, and then I could accept that, or say, I want to work with, right? Because I think the first time when I encountered it, I really felt physically different in my body, right? Such a shift happening subconscious. Also, it was not so empowered. I say that also because I think, it is a communal, there's a therapist that did that more. I think I was a little bit more overwhelmed. It was powerful. So, but that's when I first found out about the subconscious way of working, right? And what a difference it makes. I mean, really shift. And then that's when the seed was planted. And then when I found RTT, that was like, wow.
This is what I'm gonna do.
And the thing is really that it's so different that it works with the subconscious. Like it works exactly where those things that we usually struggle.
Where it's rooted. Yeah.
Exactly. Because like one of my favorite things to say and to just, because it's so true, right? You are like, a lot of people come with issues where it's about discipline, right? Like eating too much.
Consistency. Yeah.
Also takes consistency, right? And they are often like super accomplished, run a family with so many kids, and then they are on career and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can't tell me you're not disciplined, right? Because they sit there and say, I can't stop eating. I think I'm not disciplined. I'm like, no, there's no way you can. Like, you are so disciplined.
Look at you.
Yeah,
that's so true. Yeah.
I think you get a payoff on a subconscious level. You don't know what it is. As long as you don't know what it is, right? Jung said that, right? I mean,
yes, I love it.
Yeah, like as long as you don't know your subconscious, you don't explore that to the issue. I'm paraphrasing a little. You let it run your life, and you call it karma, or you call it fate. And he says fate, but I say karma also, because so many of our religions also have this karma. That's your karma, and next life you hopefully get a better karma if you live good in this life, right? And I really feel through hypnotherapy, you can overcome karma, or what we call karma, right? Which proves that it actually might not be karma, right? That was how we have explained it so far. Right? But those things that a lot of people might have called karma, you can overcome, because it's usually just a subconscious pattern of thinking.
Yeah.
And the pattern of thinking creates a pattern of being, and that creates a life, right?
Your reality.
Exactly. I mean, love your passion. I can feel your passion is so palpable also.
You too. Same. We're connecting. We need to be in the same space, so I will see you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, I know we are on air now, but I really mean that. I talked to my marketing manager recently, and she's like, if we grow like this, we might need to hire someone, and that's going to be new. I never thought about that. Like, I don't even know, like, I don't know how to be a boss, or something like that, And now I'm talking to him, like, I think I would love to work with her. I would love to hire,
Carolina, you just made my day. Let's take this offline, and I will see you personally, face to face.
Yeah.
In the next few months.
Out, if you want to. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was really coming up now for me, because you have so much fire, and I love that, and I love working with someone in the same space, right? That has that also, right? Because I think that's just very connecting, right? You don't have to have it; you just have to have a passion. If the passion shows in a similar way, I think that's very aligned.
You heard it live, guys. If this airs, by the time this airs, probably something great would have happened between the two of us now. We probably are colleagues already. Okay, thank you so much for that, Carolina. Definitely we'll take it. Yes, I'm gonna go after you. So, who is the audience of RTT hypnotherapy, and why?
Wow, such a good. And I think really everyone. I mean, I think everyone should do hypnotherapy, and I think we could all use something to get our full potential materialize out of us. Really, everyone. I think So let me see, like definitely you have to have, let's cut it down like into one. For hypnotherapy, you definitely have to have a will, right? You want to do it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
At or come where they are like, oh, my daughter or my son needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your daughter or son, right? Like if you don't want it, nobody can force you. I mean, nobody should be able to force you into therapy in general, right? But
That's
maybe
right.
you need to go to talk therapy, go off to my job, whatever. But the hypnotherapy, you don't pull it, my
Yes.
right? Like not doing it, right? Like then
Mm-hmm.
you need one, right? That's the only condition
Yes.
because you can be because now that you said that, right? Like, people ask me sometimes, can I be on medication? Pharma, yeah, there's no, no condition.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, as I was saying, I also had like practice sessions and with some not family and friends, close friends, and then you can really tell when somebody's open to it and
Mhm.
when some versus somebody that is closed. Like you can tell like, oh, okay, I don't know how where this is gonna go, but
Mhm.
I'm just gonna. It's like you can tell when somebody's guarding,
Mhm.
and it is very very important to come with this with an open open heart, I would
Yeah.
say. So whatever happens that comes up, and because if you're a therapist, you need to you will only you are privy to their information, to whatever that comes up. I think people are afraid of that, and
Mhm.
especially if they're close friends. So, and also this is why people often go to other people independent from their close relationships
Mhm.
because they don't
Yeah.
know and they will be judged. But
Mhm. Yeah, or they
yeah,
like that's too close, that information is,
yes.
and I think that's their prerogative, I think you call it in English, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they pre
Mhm.
I think that's also totally okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I
Exactly.
think really, yeah, depending on your relationships, right?
Mhm.
People.
Carolina, what is your message to those people that wants to try hypnotherapy, particularly RTT, but still skeptical at this very moment?
I would say, if you really want to try it, I mean, the time will come, but if you want to speed up that time, I think just listen to videos of Marissa Peer,
Oh, yes.
you know, just think about the life you could have fast. It's just really so powerful if
Mhm.
you're being into what you want to have next, right? So if you have any goal, if you have anything in a way that will, you know, the faster you do it, the faster you're gonna be transformed into what you wanna live. So
Yes.
I would, yeah, really,
Funny thing, when you were saying that, I had an epiphany, as a mini epiphany that I think how I am also transitioning out from my ninth, which I have already transitioned out from my corporate job and now fully setting up my own practice and my own coaching. And who knows, maybe working with you in the in the near future. And it's like I've always had the feeling of wanting to be wanting to dictate my own time, but at the same time doing so by being of service to others. And because why I say that, because I have gone through my own fair share of trauma, which I have so-called healed by my, I wouldn't say so-called because I really did go out there and try see what works for me. And it wouldn't be just one, but it's a culmination of everything. But I would say when you really go into your subconscious, that's when the magic happens because it unlocks everything. You understand what went wrong and why it went wrong. But then more importantly, how you want to create your new reality, your new future. And that's where people are most afraid to go into because they say that I it's too big of a dream. I don't think I can make it. But you shouldn't. That's because that's where you're here because of what? You're not here to just avoid trauma. You're here to also thrive, grow, and thrive. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's yeah. I cannot wait for the lives that all of our therapists are gonna be changing, and also we are the walking examples of that. Yeah. Carolina, what is next for you?
Really just continuing working with people, growing my practice. I mean, just right. That's beautiful and big, anyways. Yeah, that's the exciting thing. Yeah, that makes me wake up.
I love
Um,
that.
but really,
Do you know why I'm smirking is because, when you were telling me about your backstory, because I have the same dream. I actually want to be my dream is to go to America and actually settle there. So it's
what?
either LA or New York. Right now, you're the living example in New York. Oh, it's close. I feel it. I feel it. And
How
then,
grow up?
sorry,
Where did you
Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Asia.
come? Oh,
Yeah.
it,
So and this trip in September is gonna be my first trip to the US. So I think the reason why I'm talking to a lot of people as well, I started my podcast not because of that, but because at the same time I'm making okay, backstory, Carolina. I started my podcast because I wanted to be accustomed to talking to people, because at the time I thought that okay, I needed to feel worthy again, which, I had the wrong mindset that people should receive the best of my service when they
mm,
pay me. So I practice through podcasting. And lo and behold, I actually enjoy doing this. And
wow.
I'm doing this besides therapy because it's what I do, I would say best. I like talking to people, and I think I'm pretty good at it. And the second thing is that in therapy and soon coaching that I want to do with people, it's like hitting all of the birds with one stone. Like I get to help people and I dictate my time, and fingers crossed, hopefully get to be in a community where, it's vibrant and such as yourself, so that's truly my magic wand. Life without a problem. So yes, and I think that's also answering to, you see the passion is because yeah, it's somewhat dormant within me the last 10 years. But then
Mm,
I said, okay, let's see. Oh, scarcity mindset, fear mindset, let me just stay with the 9 to 5 because it's safe.
mm.
So yeah. Push comes to shove, I have to step up. So Carolina, we're gonna pivot to a self-worth question because my podcast talks a lot about self-worth. So the question for you today is: many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy despite their achievements. What
Mhm,
advice would you give to someone experiencing imposter syndrome in a high-pressure environment?
mm, mhm. I would really advise them to, again, words from Marissa here to just tell yourself, I mean, of course, to do RTT hypnotherapy sessions, but on a daily basis, just telling yourself you are enough. Because what I find over and over,
Yes, bringing this
self,
back, bringing my cushion back. You are worthy and you are enough to our listeners that's watching
oh,
this.
yeah, it's really that simple, but consistency in that, right? I work so often with my clients with self-worth, and it's really, yeah, they are doing like you just said. I mean, it's yeah, you could call it imposter syndrome, right? Because they are doing amazing work, so successful, right? When you look at it from the outside, but they need to be reminded, right? You would need to say to them, how much did you work the last 2 weeks? How much did you make? How much did is it not what you always wanted to do? And they would say,
Mm.
yes, this and this. And you would be like, wow. But they can't feel it, right?
Mm.
They still have it in them. Well, you were not good enough, or you are this or that, right? And well, you are now, you won't achieve anything, right? Because you don't do this right, or you don't, right? Or I don't know, you just spilled something. So now somebody tells you this, right? And it's so sad. And I just thought now that you asked these questions about more really globally, why is that, right? Why, who started
Yeah.
feeling unworthy and then giving it, like passing it on from generation, right? Why
Yeah.
are we not born with self-worth, right? Why do we why don't we keep it, right? Because I think we might be born with it, but why don't we keep it? Why do and I mean I have never thought about that really, but just like the last generation, right? Where they, and then you understand it, and then you can forgive, and then you can give yourself that. But in the end, it's really that usually parents love their kids and they do the best they can. And so if they couldn't, they were not like motivating yourself, not feeding it, then chances are that they didn't have it either, right? And that they
Mhm.
didn't have.
Mhm.
So you could immediately go to I'm worth, I'm in, right? No doubt.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's our thoughts. If you grew up, with that mindset, then our thoughts are wrong, because then
Mhm.
we'll think every day we are not worthy and we are not enough, right? No matter what we do.
Yeah. No matter you collect all your cars, all your money
You can
and
achieve.
your status. Thank you for that, Carolina. So,
Yeah.
what is your heart's greatest wish?
Wow. Ooh. I mean, it's very, I almost feel a little guilty or selfish saying that, because this is a podcast about worthless. You are not, right? I mean, sorry, not exactly those words, but and I just come with a very personal wish. Yeah, I'm my greatest wish at the moment is to own my own place in New York City with my family. So
Oh,
saving,
no, that is not selfish at all, Carolina.
yeah, but
Oh,
that format of what we are doing here, I would ideally think, oh, somebody that would give an interview about RTT would probably say that everybody in the world gets an RTT session and can be a more fulfilled person, right? But
no,
in
you're
that,
uniquely you. I would love to have a place, my own place in New York as well, for me to travel between Malaysia and
yeah,
US. So,
yeah, I want to, I want to,
fingers crossed.
I want to something pass on to my kids so they can, yeah, like a family. I want to start a family. I get family place. Yeah. So
I love that. And my wishes, I'm sending all the love and the light your way. You will
thank you.
get it.
Thank,
It's already in the making.
thank you.
So, Carolina, do you have a mantra that you live by?
Wow. There's so many great quotes and thoughts out there. If I had to choose one, I think live and let live. In German, we say lassen. I don't know if they have it here too, but basically, let other people live their lives how they want to live, right? And you live yours how you want to live. Like, so,
That's so.
right? Accept everyone how they are. You
No
reach
judgment.
how you want.
I'm letting that sink in. Yes, that is a powerful quote. I mean, it's simple, but it's got
Yeah.
deep, deep meaning to it. Is there anything that keeps you up at night, or do you sleep well? You sleep well?
Well, really well.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Okay. If you could create a quote right now for you to
Mhm.
leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
It would be a quote. I might need your help. It would be a quote really expressing that, like, it's never too late. I mean, that is a quote already, right? I could use that, but I want to encompass more than just that. Like a quote that would really show the power of RTT hypnotherapy and say, you know what? It doesn't matter what happened in the past. You can still have everything you want. because we often go with that, well, I grew up like this and this happened to me and this, and I don't mean to say that condescendingly now, right?
Yeah.
That's why we can't do this. That's why this can't happen. That's why I can't have this, right? But again, this whole with transforming karma, right? Or what we might call karma, really the power of transformation. I would maybe say that, well, believe in the power of transformation, no matter how you access that, right? I mean, I know RTT is a great version to achieve that, but if you find something else, great. But your life is so transformable. Like, I don't
Mhm.
even know the word, but you can transform anything, any circumstance.
Exactly. And if you so choose at this very moment, your life can change tomorrow even, not in a drastic way, but if you want to have a
Yeah,
big dream, it will align for you only if you believe.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Believe, and if you also know that there is a power to form into that, and it can
Yes.
really
Mm-hmm.
where you see things, believe those that when you realize that awareness, and because of the form of what we said, smoke, right? You realize that's why I know God,
Mm-hmm.
that I have that in different goes away, right? Formed in that moment. But really believe that power
Yeah.
that
I love that. Yes. I hope our listeners are able to feel the energy and not just saying, not just listening and not hearing, I would say, instead of listening to what we are trying to get out there. But like, who said? Albert Einstein, I don't know who quoted, but everything is energy. Nikola Tesla. Yeah, Nikola Tesla said everything is energy. So I hope they can take away something from our episode today. So, Carolina, how can people reach out to you?
my website is www.yhypnotherapy.com, and the Y is WHY.
Okay.
Oh,
Not Y, not the letter Y,
no,
WHY. Okay, I'll be sure to include that in the caption once this airs.
thank you
So,
so
you're welcome. And there you have it, guys. You heard it from the person herself, Dr. Karoline Fischer. Before we close off, Dr. Carolina, I would like to thank you personally for the work that you're doing for the world and for advancing every step of the way despite the challenges, creating trails for those that will come after you. This has been that one podcast with that controversial name, You Are Wordless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, if you find yourself thinking that you are worthless, for the listeners, you are not alone. But more importantly, ask yourself a level deeper, if I am worthless, then why the heck am I here? It is because your soul have chosen to be here energetically, all the way from the ethers, and for that reason itself, you are worthy and you are enough. This has been Dr. Carolina Fischer, your guest of the day, and Nick Niaras, your host, signing off. Thank you, Dr. Carolina.
thank you. That was so fun, so much pleasure.